Hey guys, I'm going to be doing a MAC eyeshadow overview video for you right now. This isn't like a review. I had to think about that one. I'm going to be showing you all of MAC's eyeshadows that are currently made, swatches included, talking about the different finishes, what you can expect from them, so that it's easier for you, hopefully, when you are going shopping and looking for something. Now, when I talk about eyeshadows, what I am referring to are the ones that fit into these palettes. I'm going to open one up and show it to you. You get these in a little black pot, or you can buy them as a Pro Pan refill like this. They're about the size of, I don't know, kind of about the size of a quarter. There's a lot of different colors and they come in a variety of finishes, and that's kind of what I want to talk to you about. So while I'm showing you these, and just so you can see as an example, I store these in palettes. This says matte and matte squared. I stick them together because there just aren't enough matte squareds to warrant their own palette. Velvet, I have Frost, I have Veluxe Pearl, all the different categories. I'm not going to be talking about any of their other specialty shadows, just the ones that you can get in a Pro Pan refill. Not going to be talking about the palettes, none of that. Just these. Do you get it? Yeah, I think I've said it enough times. I'm going to be giving you MAC's description that's on their website. It's very, very short, so I'm also going to be giving you kind of my own version of what you can expect from these, as long as you're aware that within a family of these shadows, there are going to be differences. One Frost isn't the same as another Frost, even though they're both called Frosts. In general, they're going to have a lot of similarities, but sometimes there are going to be some sort of odd ones out. Before I get started, I want to read to you MAC's description, their general description of their eyeshadows that's on their website currently. If you're watching this at any other time, other than the exact time that I'm filming it, most likely this information is incorrect because it changes all the time. This is as current as it can be in the beauty industry, which is always changing very, very rapidly. So let's hurry up and finish this. MAC says, this is their description of their eyeshadows that they have on their website. Highly pigmented powder, applies evenly, blends well, can be used wet or dry, available in a wide variety of textures and finishes. Create a customized palette of shades by fitting into a Pro Palette eyeshadow / concealer insert for easy storage and transport. That's just these things that they're talking about. Now, the thing that I'm going to just point out and disagree with here, it says can be used wet or dry. Not all of these can. Some of the mattes in particular, you're going to mess them up if you try and use them wet. Some of them you can. Carbon is one that you can use wet. I've used it wet numerous times and never had a problem with it, but others are going to kind of give you some trouble. Now let's move on to the specific groups and start showing you some swatches. I'm going to begin with MAC's matte and matte squared shadows. I'm going to be talking about them together even though the finishes are different. Again, there just aren't enough matte squareds to warrant separating them, so I store them together. So MAC says that their matte shadows are high color payoff and a no shine matte finish. They say that their matte squared shadows are intense opaque matte finish with exceptionally rich color payoff. Looking at my own notes here, I have MAC's matte eyeshadows provide a flat matte finish ranging in coverage from opaque to semi-sheer. No glitter in these. There is no metallic sheen to these. Most of them are plenty buildable. They're not super sheer. They come in a range of colors. Some are more chalkier than others and a little bit harder to blend out, but they do come in a wide range of colors, from neutrals that are cool and warm toned, or cool or warm toned, and a lot of bright colors, and things that are lighter and things that are darker. In general, the matte squareds are more opaque, they're more smooth, they're a little softer, they're a little more, I would say, current when compared to other matte eyeshadow formulas that you can find on the market. I do want to say, because the matte squared shadows are softer, they tend to have a little bit more fallout, so they can be a little bit more difficult for some people to work with. A lot of matte shadows can be a little bit tricky, so it's kind of up to you. One of the things that I like to sort of encourage people to ask themselves when they're shopping for anything is, how do you work? What is it that you're looking to achieve? Because pigmentation gets a lot of attention right now, and pigmentation isn't necessarily everything. You might not want something that's super pigmented. You might want something that's kind of soft. Carbon is a really good example of a black eyeshadow that gets a lot of love from some people and a lot of hate from others. It's fairly polarizing. It's a very soft black. It's not super opaque. It's not intense. Some people say that it is. I completely disagree. I also don't think that that makes it a bad eyeshadow. I love to use carbon to just darken a color, to add a little bit to a crease. It's not going to overdo anything. It's really soft, so it's very friendly to work with. It's also, as I mentioned before, one of the matte shadows that works really well wet. I've used it, and you're not supposed to do this, but you get wet and put it in the water line, and it's a fine liner. There's a lot. That's like old school MAC stuff right there. Let's talk about the satins next. They say that they are pure color, and a satin style finish provides a soft, subtle, non-frost, light refractive sheen. That is a tongue twister right there. Now, generally speaking, their satin shadows are more matte than a frost, but a little bit more frost than a matte. You're going to have what I describe as a skin-like finish to them. There's a little bit of a glow. They're not completely matte. They're easier to work with, easier to blend than the mattes. They're very nice if you're looking for a matte looking shadow, but you don't want like really matte or chalky matte. These are a really good way to go. They do, however, again, range from very frosty to not. Like Shroom is in the satin category, and it's one of the more frosted satins that MAC makes. Most of them are going to have that kind of soft sheen skin-like finish though. They do come in some nice neutral colors, but as you can see, there aren't a lot of bright colors in the satin range. Okay, next let's talk about velvets. Now, MAC says that their velvets have a soft look finish with high color intensity, has a plush velvety look and feel. Now, my notes say, I'm going to read exactly what I wrote here. Velvet shadows are dumb. No, really. So here's the thing. Velvet eyeshadows range from sort of frosty to sort of matte to sort of satin. All of them that are currently in production at the time of making this video have some sort of glitter in them. It just kind of sits in a satin or matte or frosty base and generally doesn't translate to the skin. It's just sort of sitting there making the pan look pretty. Some of them are good. I like vapor, I like texture, but the colors aren't really super unique. You can get them in other finishes. Some of them, like Beauty Marked, just suck, and some people really like it. I consider Beauty Marked to be the mistake that everyone has to make themselves. I'm trying to take it out so I can show it to you. No matter how much your friends say that it sucks, you end up buying it anyway because it looks so pretty in the pan, and then you think, what the hell was I thinking? I think that Beauty Marked is an ugly, dry, patchy mess that is completely unusable. You can use it really, if you get it wet, you can kind of pack that color on and it'll look okay, but otherwise, I just think it's stupid. But it's pretty in the pan, so I'm sure it's a good seller, I guess. And maybe there's someone out there who likes stuff like that, or Black Tide, or Trax. Now, okay, let's talk about, I'm gonna go to Veluxe. This is my Veluxe palette. The Veluxe eyeshadows, this is super fine, richly pigmented shadow that is luxe to apply, silky smooth and matte finish. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on these because this is how many there are. And for all intents and purposes, I really could and should probably store these with my matte and matte squared shadows because in my opinion, Veluxe shadows have like the same finish as a MAC squared shadow. These are all tongue twisters for me. I wish that there were more. They are really actually nice shadows. I just wish that there were more available. Let's move right on to frosts. Now, frosts come in a variety. I'm going to read you the description in a second, but you can see here neutrals and colors. Some really good options. MAC describes them as an iridescent shine that adds a highlight to any color. Frost eyeshadows are usually the easiest to work with and the easiest to get right in pretty much any brand. Any makeup artist will also tell you, I kind of did that if you have fine lines or wrinkles, you should steer clear of metallic finishes and frosts. I kind of say, do whatever you want because it's your face and who cares and whatever. But I get it. Everybody wants to look good and all that stuff, so yeah, whatever. In summary, MAC's Frost eyeshadows. They are very nice. I like them, I use them. I like their Veluxe Pearls a little bit more. I just think that they're a little nicer, and that's what we're going to talk about next. So let's talk about Veluxe Pearl. I have these right here. Super fine, richly pigmented shadow that is luxe to apply a shimmering metallic high shine pearl finish. Now I could, kind of like what I was saying when I was talking about the Veluxe eyeshadows, I could really just toss these in palettes with my Frost shadows and it would be fine. However, I like these more. I think that they perform better, so I like to keep them separate because they are my favorites. Now these are pretty much just like a Frost eyeshadow. I just think they are a little easier to apply, a little more, they're just nicer to blend, they're nicer to work with, and that's really the only difference. the color options are far less exciting than their regular frost finishes. I just think that they perform nicer. All right, last one. We're going to talk about Lustres. Now, okay. I don't know why I ended with these. Smoothly pearlized, intensely frosted with a deluxe ultra-fine conditioned look finish. Okay, this is arguably probably the most hated MAC eyeshadow formula ever made. I don't know why they're still around. They are very glittery, they're very dry, and they're very kind of powdery. That translates to glitter all over your face. I'm sure if there was one that you really, really loved, you could probably find a way to work with it and you'd be just tickled pink. I think that there are other products like glitter that kind of do the same thing better and are actually easier to work with. I just think they're a mess. They did discontinue quite a few of them over the last couple of years, so yay for that. But it would be nice if they just kept on going. Now, there have been other finishes as well. There's been the Star Flash shadows, which I really, really like. There are the Dazzle shadows. Those are currently available, but they're just in the pots. Pro Longwear eyeshadow used to be a thing. It's not anymore. The Extra Dimension eyeshadow, those are around in pots. And then you could consider pigments in eyeshadow as well. They're just the loose powder color. This is just, again, a general overview of the different finishes that are available for these shadows. And hopefully this helps you when you're kind of out there shopping, trying to figure out what to get. Yeah. All right, guys, thanks for taking the time to watch. I do appreciate it. I hope that this was fun and informative and at least pretty to look at with all the swatches on the screen. If you have any comments, questions, anything like that, feel free to leave them in the comment section. I might not get back to you, but go ahead and leave them. I do try to answer questions, at least for a while, on videos until they become so old that I just don't want to look at them anymore. All right, guys. Thanks so much. See you later.